Hi guys, Steve here for Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming, and today I'm going to be looking at the continued build for my Ulthwe Strike Force. It's going to be made up completely of Farseers and Warlocks, Warlock Conclaves, and I'm just going to go through some of the models, the challenges, including my I'm just super happy with my really cool Farseer that I built up. Yeah, so why Eldar? I've always liked Eldar. I think I mentioned this in the first video. I've always been a big fan of Eldar. I've always liked the background fluff, the story. So I decided why not. I also like building, like I said before, I like building weirder armies, different armies. I've got my Space Marines. I've had them when they've been competitive and uncompetitive. So I just want to build something different and also to challenge myself a bit. It's not a huge challenge. I'm not going out on a massive limb here going, oh, look at this massive. But it's fun. It's fun to just do different things and try different things. So again, Ulthwe. Why Ulthwe? I've always loved Ulthwe. I loved it back in 3rd Ed when they first got their own list in the 13th Company. It's not 13th Company. That was another list. The 13th Black Crusade Codex. So I thought, why not? If I'm going to go for lots of Farseers, they're the way to go. And I made this decision before I really read through the Codex. I've got the digital version here. So the attributes is one of the cool ones. So they have Foresight of the Damned, right? You roll a d6 each time a model loses a wound. On a 6, the wound is ignored. This is actually pretty cool. Considering I'm using such a small and elite army, the fact that they're all HQ choices, every wound that I don't take is going to be great. This works really well with the Farseer because with his Ghost Helm, he ignores mortal wounds in a 5/6. You get to add 3 if it's a Perils of the Warp. So with my Farseers, I have to actually ignore the potential chance to ignore those wounds, mortal wounds, and to standard regular wounds, which is nice. So that's sort of their Foresight. That's their that one ability. The other one I want to go to is the Warlord Traits. So obviously you can pick one if you want. The Ulthwe one though is Fate Reader, and I like this one, right? Yeah, where did it go? Here is a Fate Reader, right? If your army is battle forged and your warlord is on the battlefield, roll d6 at the start of each turn. You and yours and your opponents on a 6, you gain a command point, which is really good. I'm only going to have 4 to start with. 3 for being battle forged, and 1 for the supreme command detachment, which is really, really nice because I'm going to need those command points. The main strength of this army is obviously going to be its psychic abilities. Everybody being able to wound on a 2+ is great. Having a lot of weapons that do D3 damage is great. Very little, there's actually 0 in the way of AP other than shuriken weapons that cause a mortal wound. But even then, it's just a mortal wound. There's no AP to it, right? That's why I've added in, as you see there, some singing spears in order to help add more damage when I actually come to shooting, which is also incredibly limited. Some of the stratagems I was looking at, let me just find them here. I'm going to look for them. I had one of them here. There's a bunch of them. One is Forewarned, which will be good for, this one's only if they get really close within that 12-inch shooting range, I get to make a shot them immediately using that. One's 2 command points. There's Concordance of Power, which is nice. This is really good because of the Destructor ability. If I'm going to use Smite with my Conclave, the range is actually dropped from 18 to 9. So if I use Concordance of Power here, now this is only for the Runes of Battle Psychic Power, so I guess it won't work that one. But it will effectively boost the range of other things, so I can help up the Farseer if he's farther away, or if I decide, I have a smaller Conclave, if I decide to turn it into smaller Conclaves or just have a Warlock, basically, when I manifest it, I double the range of the power, which is good, which is very, very good. The other one is Unparalleled Mastery. Last one was 1 command point. Unparalleled Mastery is also 1 command point, And if I do manifest, let's see here, if I successfully manifest my last psychic power with him, I get to immediately try and manifest a second one. So we Farseers get to manifest 2, if I remember correctly. Let me do a quick look here. I'm still learning this codex. You'll have to bear with me for a minute. Still trying to figure it all out. So yes, my Farseer, I can manifest 2 powers. It no smite and 2 psychic powers for the runes of fate discipline. So I have 3 powers. I can only use 2. With that command, I can try and manifest all 3 powers. Maybe mind war some stuff to death. Who knows? There was a couple more. Since I am mostly going for a psychic-based army, not a lot of them actually really fit. There's lots of ones for re-rollings and all that. There's other ones that might come in handy. I'm just trying to find here. I also have lightning fast reactions is a good one. It's 2 command points. It's on Azurian infantry, which my Conclave is. It would allow him, so use a stratagem when a friendly Azurian infantry unit or friendly Azurian unit with a fly keyword is chosen on the target for an enemy attack in the shooting or fight phase. Subtract 1 from all hit rolls that target the unit for the rest of the phase. This could be good also for my Farseer. Well, he's going to be on a jet bike. He'll have fly. I'll be able to make it a bit harder for him to hit. There's a number of them in here, but those are the main ones I wanted to use. Yes, the other one, this is another command point, Seer Council. So use a stratagem if you're in the psychic phase. If a Farseer units within 6 inches of a friendly Craftworld Warlock unit, you can add 1 to the result of any psychic tests you take for the 2 units for the rest of that phase. So having them combined together, that's really another good one. Having them together, it makes my chances of actually getting those powers better. So I'll be using that one. Again, this goes back to that the Warlord trait of Fate Reader. It will allow me to hopefully generate some more command points so I keep this going through the game. I only have 4, so I could burn through them really quick. So it's gonna be an interesting army to fight with. So I'm gonna flip now to showing off the units. I'm really proud of them. There's a lot of work to do, lots of cool stuff to do for each unit, but I'm really happy with them. I'm really happy with how they turned out so far, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So here we go. I'm gonna flip down now. So here's my first Conclave, a full 10-man unit. I have 5 warlocks with witchblades, 5 with singing spears. The challenge that came up with this one, as well as the other Conclave you'll see, was trying to take normally static poses. Again, these guys are, supposed to be ranked up back in the day, so the poses are pretty static, pretty similar. A lot of the same torsos. They're just standing there. So the challenge is trying to make them using bits from the Spearman sprue to try and make them a bit more dynamic. They're all supposed to be warlocks characters and such, so I want them to look a bit more interesting, just guys standing there holding spears in one hand and what have you. Some of them, it's a bit of a torso twist, maybe moving ahead. Now obviously the next step of these guys is I have to get some more bases. Fortunately I'm out of them. Also have to find myself some shuriken pistols and a little bit of green stuff on these guys as well. This is a trend you'll see with their if you look close, whoa, they've got a little indent in the back of the helmet. I'm going to put a little bit of green stuff there to sort of simulate that bulge that's at the back of warlock helmets. I don't know if it's some sort of psycho-reactive circuitry to protect them or help them with their powers. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still reading through the codex. Now on to Armament. Again, these guys are pretty good in close combat. Obviously the psychic powers will help, the runes of battle will help them, whether it's making them harder to hit or making enemies easier to hit or what have you. That's definitely what their main part. These also guys are going to be sort of the main battle group of my little force. These ones are going to probably end up be doing a lot of the fighting. which is why I also added the spears. The spears are a bit weird because they are strength 9, but they always wound on a 2+. So I'm not really sure why they decided to make them strength 9, because Witchblades are strength of user. I've looked over through the rulebook, the codex, the FAQs. None of it really seems to tell why it's strength 9. I even asked my buddies there at the Unification group. It's not a pitch or anything. Go check it on Facebook, please. And no one really knows there either. I'm assuming it's probably a holdover from older editions. But the other reason is to up the damage potential of the group. So those that are going to be armed with shuriken pistols, which will be all of them, I guess. It's a great little pistol. Mortal wounds if you roll 6 to wound, which is good. But it's a one-shot, one-wound type deal. One damage type deal, I should say. Close combat, the Witchblades do D3 damage. Which is good. But the cool thing with the spears, they can also be thrown at 12-inch range, wounding on a 2+. They also do D3 damage. So it's all about upping the damage potential. These 5 guys, if they just use their, say, their standard pistol, it's 5 shots, potential 5 damage. These 5, it's 5 shots with the potential of 15 damage. So definitely something I want to look at there. I'm going to go on to the other small conclave slash maybe warlocks on their own. I'm not 100% sure yet. But here, that's the first big group. So here is my other conclave, or 2 conclaves. I haven't really decided how I'm going to use these guys. Obviously the formation, the Supreme Command detachment, I should say, I want to use, requires 3 HQ choices. So I have 1 conclave. I'm going to have a Farseer as well, which I'll get to in a minute. But there's also these guys. And I haven't decided I'm going to put them, say, in a unit of 3 or 2 units of 2. I may even take one and have it just a Warlock on its own to add another separate HQ choice. But yeah, they're armed the same way. Same issue as the other one. Trying to take a static model and make it dynamic. A lot of it, again, comes down to just twisting the torso a little bit, making sure I get the heads set up accordingly. Again, I have a singing spear in there to sort of increase the damage I can do with these guys. Yeah, so it's much like the other one. Bases, shuriken pistols, and obviously some green stuff to create that sort of backing to the helmet. Again, I'm actually really happy with these guys turned out. I think I got some pretty nice poses there, some battle shots. There seems the one thing that seems to be a lot of pointing, which is okay. It can be used, you know, as a guy leading or maybe directing his psychic power. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with these guys as well. Now onto the Farseer, which is probably the happiest I've been with the model so far. It's also a great conversion, if I do say so myself. So we're gonna get there in a second. And here is my Farseer. So he's made up primarily of a High Elf Lord. The body, torso, the legs, everything is one piece. The arm as well, which will be counting as his singing spear. The arm comes from the chariot, one of the chariot riders that the base is made out of. And I sliced off the hand and the bow and gave him the head and hand from the High Elf Sorcerer model. The Sky Runner, his bike, his war bike, or whatever you want to call it there, is actually the top half is built up just as a standard Tyrannok chariot. Just going to move him here for a second. Ooh, there we go. And the base is actually, I had a lot of fun doing this, and it worked out really, really well. The base is a Eldar missile launcher that's actually being used as an engine, and the stabilizers, as I called them, and actually allowed it to stand up pretty stable in a lot of different positions, is actually the siding for if you decide to build it as a white lion chariot. So I was actually inspired to do this after the Nadu Fireheart model from way back in the 3rd and 4th edition. He was a Eldari warrior who rode on his own custom-made bike. He was armed with his giant spear as well. So I thought, why not having a Farseer that sort of has his own psychically controlled jet bike. He can roam around the battlefield dispensing his own special brand of justice and all that good stuff. Again, the only thing I'm missing is some shuriken catapults, so I'm going to have to find, slam on there, paint him up as an Ulthwe, And yeah, I'm really happy with how he turned out. He's got a very commanding presence. I'm also going to try and find a flying base for him and stick him on there. And so he does have he is raised above the rest of them. I'm just really happy with how this guy turned out. Yeah, I'm just super stoked. I can't wait to paint him. Hey guys, so there you go. There's my the beginnings of my Ulthwe army. I hope you guys really enjoyed the models. Like I said, it's not a super challenge, but it's still a fun way to just trying different things, and again, trying to take these guys from being static posed models to something a bit more dynamic, add some character to them. I'm still super happy with my Farseer here. I love this guy. I can't wait to get him put together and on a flying base. So he's got a commanding presence of the battlefield. He just looks cool. I just like the sort of jet bike I've got him on here. Just something different. It's going to make him stand out. And it also shows what you can do. I haven't done it in a while, or even talked about it in a while, but getting back to sort of doing this hobby in a, we'll say cost effective. I don't want to say cheap because cheap just makes it sound, well, cheap. But in a cost effective way. I'm actually taking models that I wanted to use at one point for an actual Alpha army. That was years ago. Things have changed, but I'm now using it to actually give myself a brand new 40k army. And it's really not costing me that much. Obviously, I'm gonna have to invest in bases and getting shuriken pistols and shuriken catapults, hopefully off of some of the local Facebook sale groups that I'm part of for Warhammer and wargaming miniatures. But yeah, so I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I hope you guys are enjoying the progression here. As I said, the next step is bases, adding the green, sort of the back of the helmet there. If you ever look at Warlocks, the actual models have got their helmet. They've also got this band of extra metal there. I'm not sure what it's for. Maybe something sort of like a psychic hood for Marines, where it helps protect them from the powers of the warp, helps direct and control their power. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And, post any comments or criticisms, whatever, down below. And I always read them whenever I get a chance. But as I said, I'll end it there. Thank you very much, guys. Keep rolling those dice. Like, subscribe. You know the draw. I don't have to tell you. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.